Hi, my dears. All right. I'm going to go run some errands and do my live at the same time. Shouldn't take us long. But it's my first live, and I'm really kind of uncomfortable, so I thought I would do it in my car. And all right. Oh, maybe I should just pull it down. That would make a lot more sense. Now, today's topic is going to be how self-care helps us in our dating life, okay? And let's see. Am I going to be able to get everything clear on here? It's hard for me to tell how it's working. All right. Well, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, because I can't really tell, because again, this is my first live, so I'm not absolutely sure how this works. Can anyone hear me? If you can, please give me a thumbs up. I cannot tell. Again, this is my first chat, and so I am just trying to figure everything out before I actually start going. Oh, hey girl. Oh my gosh. Yay, I think I did it. Okay, I can see a comment, so that's positive. Okay, so let's talk about what self-care does for us in our lives. Okay, ladies? When you take care of yourself, there are so many wonderful positive benefits. So just take a little journey with me as we kind of consider self-care in our daily life, and then maybe some extra self-care, okay? You get up in the morning, you've gone to the gym, you have sat down and done your meditating, and everything, you feel really fantastic. Now, that's just basic self-care. When you get into like the deep self-care, you're doing your journaling, and if you're working in your therapy, you're working on that as well as a bunch of other things, and you just have an amazing feel about yourself where you're feeling whole, and you're feeling like you have a very positive outlook on life. You have a very positive outlook on how you're feeling about things in your life. All right. And when you really take care of yourself, you get that feeling, when it's like when you go get your nails done and you look at it like, oh, I look so cute. I'm so happy. Or you go get a pedicure, or when you get a facial and your face feels like 5 pounds lighter. It's like, what the heck happened here? I don't know, but it feels amazing. Okay. Those are the kinds of self-care things that I'm thinking about, where you're doing not only your normal self-care things, but the little bit of extra stuff that just makes you feel wonderful. Okay. So when you're spending time doing those kinds of things, it makes you not only feel good, but you feel better about yourself. Okay. And I'll give you a great example. When I am losing weight, oh my gosh. And let's suppose I got up in the morning and I ate what I was supposed to eat, and I exercised, and then somebody goes, you want to go get a burger? Now, on a regular day, I say sure, but today, I did my normal routine. I'm feeling a little special because, I don't want to mess up my morning by having something that I know isn't particularly healthy for me. And I'm going somewhere with this, okay? It's the same kind of feeling when you've taken the extra care to do something. You don't want someone to come in and mess it up, right? And let's take a second and let's just talk about some of those things that we do to really help us feel good about ourselves. Let's suppose you go and you get a facial and you get a manicure and a pedicure, and everything is just looking pretty and you feel good. You got your sandals on and you're looking kind of cute, and you're going out and things are just feeling wonderful. And so when, let's say, a man just comes up and starts talking to you, because when you are like that, when you are feeling special and beautiful and loved, it attracts men like crazy, okay? Because they can see that on you, and that is one of the attractors, that men look for in women. Well, normal men. We won't talk about all men, but normal men, they look at that and they're like, wow, she looks really happy, she looks approachable, and she looks like a good person to talk to. They'll smile at you, and because you're happy, you might smile back too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Doing the little bit of extra stuff makes you feel a little bit extra good, okay? And I have a list of maybe 20 things that I do, and the days that I do all 20 are like awesome, okay? On Saturdays and Sundays, when I get up to like 25, baby, I'm like, can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Oh, let's see, now I'm driving. I'm gonna respond to you ladies when I park. I'm gonna park in a few minutes. So I see that you're commenting, but I can't look at the comments and drive at the same time, because I'm old and I don't do well doing things simultaneously as well as I did when I was younger. All right, so doing the extra bit of stuff to make yourself feel really good, and your feelings sound wonderful, and when you're out and about in your day, other people can tell. All right, now one of the things that I have learned is that the more time I take to spend on me, the more attractive I am to the opposite sex. And I think that's true of all women. It's true of all people, but it's especially true of women because men are visual. All right, so if you're just minding your business, looking good, they notice. All right, you're not making eye contact with them, you're just bouncing around doing the things that you normally do, it still attracts them. Okay. Now, let's suppose you have your meditation. You're doing your meditation, you are reading your Bible, or whatever practice you have. I don't know what it is. For me, and I'll tell you about my morning. If I'm getting up and I'm sitting down and I'm journaling, and I'm meditating, and I'm spending some time with the ancestors, all right, I am in a peaceful place. And when I'm in that peaceful place, I can hear better. I can see better, because all of the noise in my mind has been quieted. And it probably sounds a little weird if you haven't done it before. But if you are in that place where you are just totally still, totally quiet, and one of the things I've added into my daily routine is 30 minutes of stillness. This is beyond my meditating, beyond my journaling, beyond anything spiritual. I spend 30 minutes a day just sitting, all right? Sometimes I will sit on my sofa with a cup of hot tea or coffee, and the whole goal is not to do any planning, not to do any reading, to do any writing, to just sit, And what I find is that when I have those periods, I hear things. Now, sometimes I will have to grab a notebook or something and write things down, but the purpose is not that. The purpose is to just be still. My breathing is calm, I'm calm, and I can just be still, all right? That stillness by itself is fortifying, okay? I'm preparing for my day. I typically do this before I start my workday. I make sure that it's quiet. I don't want to hear any music. And I live alone. It's just me. So I know if you have children, if you have a spouse, this may be difficult for you. And when my son was home, I did it in my car, all right? Because it was important that I just be able to find some kind of space to be able to be still, all right? And you just have to figure out what time or what place you need to do it, but it is well worth it. Oh my goodness, well worth it, because you will get a new standard for what calm and peace looks like. And I mentioned in one of my videos that I have a scale of 1 to 10. And the goal is to get down to that 1 to that 0 so that I'm totally peaceful. Because the world looks different when I am totally peaceful, okay? It looks different. I get to be still and everything's quiet. Nothing is going on. Uh-oh, did I lose you guys? All right. I am peaceful and still, and nothing is happening. And my goodness, I absolutely love it. Now, let's see. Hello, Steph. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize I would be losing any signal. Maybe if I stay still. Soul Moisturizer. Hello, how are you? Oh, kiss you back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me for my first live. Oh, well, let's see. I'm gonna have to take note of some things I'm gonna have to do a little bit better. It's sunny, and I hadn't thought of that, and I can't see the screen real well. So let me wipe off my glasses, and then I did make a list of things I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to make it too long, so. Now, what does self-care do for you, okay? It increases your self-esteem. The journaling, the meditating, the massages, the times you spend with loved ones. One of the things that I had an issue with after my divorce was that I was afraid I couldn't make good choices and decisions. And that was primarily, I think, because when you're in a divorce situation, I felt like I was a failure. I felt like, I cannot trust myself. I cannot trust my decision making because I've made this huge mistake in marrying this man, and for these years that I lost trying to fix something that was irreparable. So my self-esteem was really low, and I didn't know what to do with that. So as the years have gone on, I've had to rebuild my self-esteem so that I am feeling more comfortable with my decision making. I had to know that I know how to make good choices and good decisions. All right, because that's critical when you are in the midst of dating. You don't want to have that kind of wearing rose-colored glasses. All right, you want to see that person for who they are. And it's not that, anyone has to be perfect. I'm not expecting a man to ever be perfect. What I am expecting is that I will be able to see him clearly and make a decision about if this man is good or right for me, okay? And building up my self-esteem helped me so much with that, okay? Because when I did that, all of a sudden it was like, oh, no, I can see him now. I'm not wearing rose-colored glasses. All men are nice. I have to give them all a chance. No, I don't. Not all men are nice. And no, I don't have to give them all a chance. And just because he asked me out doesn't mean I need to go. That was one thing that I was kind of, when I was coming up, when men would ask me out, I thought I had to go. When men asked me to marry them, I thought I had to marry them because they asked. I know I was far too polite for anything normal, but that is a true statement. If they asked me, I had to say yes, and I didn't know I could say no. So let's get back to it. So I'm increasing my self-esteem. When I exercise every day, it gives me extra energy, a clearer mind. I feel better. I feel stronger. My body looks better. When I eat healthy, oh my goodness. Now, eating healthy has such great benefits because, I'm going to talk about me, it gives me clarity, okay? When I eat junk food, I'm almost in a sugar haze all the time. And I have lived in a sugar haze for years. That's how bad it gets sometimes, because when my body runs out of sugar, it starts craving more sugar. And I go get me some more sugar and I stay in my haze because that's where I'm happy at. When I got rid of the sugar haze, it was like, oh, why didn't I see that before? And it's kind of like, well, a person who's addicted to drugs where they just don't see what's going on. It's different because I can still function, but it is not the clarity of a woman who doesn't take sugar, because I've lived with and without it. And when you're without it, it's like, oh my gosh, how did I not see that before? Because I was living kind of in my sugar haze, okay? So eating healthy and getting great sleep. At this time of my life, sometimes it's really difficult to get great sleep. I've told you guys about my Fitbit. It records my sleep, and it also records the quality of my sleep. I'm gonna have to make sure I add that back on my Amazon page, because at my age, it is so important to get really quality sleep, okay? I cannot stress that enough, because when I don't sleep well, I don't think it's clear, all right? So the day, because like, okay, I'll give you, for instance, yesterday I slept like 4 or 5 hours, not very much. I got up, I did a bunch of stuff. I played out in the garden. I ran a couple of errands, and I knew I was going to take a nap. And I thought, oh, I'll sleep a couple of hours. Okay. I got in the bed at 12 and I got up at 4:30, 4.5 hour nap. And when I got through, it was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. I was completely calm, at peace, whole, because I finally got enough sleep. So getting enough sleep is so critical. It is rare for me to sleep an entire night. And so I have devised a plan so that I can be comfortable, even though I don't sleep a whole night. So my sleep typically starts early, 7, 8 o'clock. And then I'll wake up around 2 or 3. I might be up for an hour or two, and I do something around my house. I repot plants. I do a load of laundry, something that keeps me busy. And then all of a sudden my body will go, okay, it's time to go back to bed, and I'll go back to sleep. And the goal is to try and get it as close to 7, 8 hours as possible. And that has made a big difference. I'm giving myself permission to go get up, do stuff, and go back to sleep. Now, in order for that to really work, I have to go to bed fairly early, like 7, 8 o'clock. Usually it's about 8. I'm in bed at 8. And if I sleep for 4 hours, I'm up at midnight, and I might be up from midnight till 2. And then I might sleep from 2 to 5 or 6, depending on, so making sure I have enough room for sleep is important, okay? Give yourself some space if you can. I know when you have small children, that is not always possible, but oh my goodness, try and give yourself some space so you can get enough sleep. Let's see. I don't know if I could have picked a better place. Hi, Nikki. Oh, I'm so glad you're subscribing. Steph, I have the same fear. I can't afford mistakes. Have a good track record. See, I know it. We live and we learn. We know. Yeah. I wish that I learned some of this stuff when I was much earlier. It would have saved me a lot of time. Giving ourselves permission to know we're worthy of creating space for self-care. Absolutely. Yeah, we have to give ourselves permission. And, we're not perfect. And getting over perfectionism. Oh, baby, that was a big one. Getting over perfectionism. No, I'm not perfect. I'm not even supposed to be perfect, and neither are you. So taking the time to say, oh, you know what? I'm not supposed to be perfect. Do the best you can. Okay, if 10 is perfect, if I'm doing it, sometimes for new things, just do it. If I only do it at a 1, I've at least done it. That's like the first time I got up and walked, panting, sweating, didn't go very far, going real slow. That was not a 10 walk. It was a 1 walk, but at least I did it. So just, the fact that I did it made it a 10, all right? Give yourself permission to be imperfect. The things that make me feel great, working on my goals. If I got up this morning and let's say my goal today was to set up a live. I've never done a live. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try. I don't know how it works. But I decided, okay, it's time to learn and figure it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to do it. And that's what I've done. All right, I'm going to move. So bear with me. I'm not going far. I am sitting in front of these folks' lunch spot. and they're staring at me and I'm staring at them, and I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want them to be uncomfortable either. And then I'm going to try a little bit different angle for the light so that maybe it looks a little different. I don't know. So this is a different direction. Okay. Nachama? Oh, I'm so glad. I am so glad, ladies. I am so glad I'm helping. That's the whole point, is to help. Share my stories, and hopefully someone can learn. If I can help somebody, just, you don't have to hit that pain point like I did. That's a help. That's a help. All right. So, now, the little projects we like to do. When I finish a project, because I'm really good at starting projects, but not always finishing projects. So when I get to finish a project, like, I'll give you a project I finished this weekend. I buy my rice in huge bags, 20-pound bags. And what I do is I store them in glass jars and put them on my shelves. Now, I got and I was hoping my son would come this weekend so he could help me. I was like, okay, I got to get this bag out of here. So I got it out, got it on the floor, and then I finished getting it in all the jars and getting all the jars sealed. So I'm like, yay! All right. I buy my rice from an Asian store. And, they got like 20 different kinds of rice. I actually buy two. I buy a jasmine rice and I buy a sweet rice. And that lasts me that's like 2-3 years worth of rice. All right. So it was time to buy more because I'd run out of both. But that was one of the projects I was able to finish. So, finishing up a project, reading a good book. And for me, I got to be careful because I'll read a good book and that guy's just kind of moseying around. I'll read a good book and forget what time it is. It'll be like 12:01. I'm like, I got to go to sleep. But, reading a good book is a good accomplishment because I'm like, books fall into a couple categories for me. If I'm reading a book for information, okay, sometimes it'll take me a month to finish it, or 2, because, you get so much information and I take notes and I'm writing, or books that are for entertainment. A great book, I love reading it, and, you asked me 6 months later, what did I read? I'm like, it was good, but I can't even tell you the name of it because it was just for entertainment. It's kind of like a television show. So doing things like that are just like projects for me. Taking a trip to the museum. Summertime is here and art fairs, I love art fairs, are coming up, and just being able to put on my little cute dress and my sandals and go to the art fair. That's good fun for me. And because I'm doing something that I am very intensely interested in, it makes me really happy, and it makes me even feel a little bit more whole. Deep conditioning my hair. Just so many things are available, I think, for me. And, and if you build them into your life, you'd be surprised at the small things that just make you feel better. Being peaceful, being well rested, being calm, all of those things are amazing, okay? Oh, you know what? I am going to do more lives. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start scheduling them, because I'm like, okay, if I don't schedule them, I'll never include them. So I will do more. I didn't want to make this one too long. And I have a lot of topics we could talk about. So yes, I will be scheduling them. I don't know if this is a good time. I didn't realize about the glare. It might need to go after work. Instead of, because this is my lunch hour essentially. I'm taking this, an hour in the middle of the day to talk. So you want to build in things into your life to make you feel good, because, okay, so let's suppose you have a blind date, and this is the first time you're meeting someone, and you've got that clarity. You feel really good about yourself. You've taken the time to take care of yourself, and on a scale of 1 to 10, you're like at 9, 10. You are, just feeling wonderful. When you meet someone and, they don't quite ring true, maybe this is a blind date, this is a first time meeting. You really have a clarity. And because you've taken time to do your self-care, you can hear better, you can see better, you can think better. The rose-colored glasses are off, and you're doing observation, a lot of listening. Got all your listening skills going for you. Taking your time, because see, you're not rushed. Makes a big difference. Take a few minutes, relax. This is an important meeting, and you just want to take your time and just really evaluate this person. And you will find that a lot of times you will pick up on things that when you're not quite like in this state, you would have missed. Because I remember thinking, you know what? I should have realized there was something wrong with that guy. I should have realized, because it was like he was giving me cues, but I wasn't really paying attention. Something off about that guy, something weird about that guy. But when I do the self-care, it is amazing because I become much more alert. And that I find helps me a lot. Doing our self-care lets you know that you're making good choices, right? If you've done your healing work and you're sitting and you're listening quietly, and you can be your normal self, but there is something that is different when you do your self-care, because it's almost like you're fine-tuning an instrument, all right? And if things are not ringing true with what someone is saying to you, how they're acting, you'll pick up on it. Being healed is a huge part of that. And it took me a while to really get that, because if I'm not healed, then what happens is, let's suppose I think that I'm the problem. I'm always the problem. There's something wrong with me. I'm the problem. I meet a new man, and he says, maybe he's a cusser. I hate that. I really hate that in a man. I really do. That just turns me off. But when I was younger, I would excuse it because I thought, that's just me. I'm a little too sensitive. I'm too sensitive, and I should just ignore that. Now, I'll tell you, what? That language just makes me uncomfortable. And usually that's all I have to say. If it's the wrong guy, he'll keep doing it. If it's the right guy, he won't say anything bad again. All right? See the difference? But I have to be able to recognize that it's not me. All right? And that it's okay if I enforce my boundaries. And I didn't get that until I was healed. All right? I did not get that until I was healed. I always thought it was me. When you are at a level 10, and we'll have to go through level 10s. When I'm at a level 10, I've been addressing my issues. I'm taking care of myself. I operate out of abundance and not scarcity. And that's a big one too. Maybe I haven't been on a date in 6 months, and I meet a guy and he's a jerk. If I'm operating out of scarcity, I might not get another date for another 6 months. I don't want that. If I'm operating out of abundance, it's like, oh, there'll be another guy coming along. There always is. And see, the woman who's afraid there's no more coming along, she'll put up with some stuff that she knows she shouldn't. She knows she shouldn't. But the woman who's operating out of abundance, oh, no. A man is like a bus. One comes along, they just keep coming along. So that is the difference when you're holding healed. You operate out of abundance and out of your joy when you're healed. There will always be more men. Older men, younger men, nice men, mean men, quiet men. There will always be more, all right? And when you're at your best, you know that. And I find that when I am happy, it brings more whole men toward me. Now, I'm still not repelling jerks, because sometimes I gave a guy on the side of the road a couple dollars. He's like, oh, you're pretty. And I'm like, honey, let me roll up the window. I'm just giving you $2 because I'm going to give you $2. I don't expect, you ain't going to say nothing else to me, okay? Just, Stay where you are. You got your $2. I'm gonna drive on off here. But I have found that it does, when you are in that wholeness and that fullness, it brings men towards you because we are magnets. We will pull men towards us. We're like flowers and they're like bees. We just got to sit there and look pretty and listen and look good. I could be reading a book. What are you reading? Because I do that a lot. I will take a book to a coffee shop, sit in a corner and read and have a man come over and want to talk to me. All right, let's see. Oh, okay, Steph, I'll remember that. Oh, all right. Oh, and one thing I have found is that when I am in the healed place, I can spot more easily men who are a little bit off, men who are a little bit too aggressive, men who are a little bit too pushy, men who have an agenda. And it's hard to describe, but I can feel it. When I'm sitting down and I'm talking to you, and you're not the right man, you're not the man who I believe would be a good fit with me. Oh, and I'll give you an example. All right, I met a man on a dating site, and he was a religious man, and we actually were of the same faith. I was a Kojic, Church of God in Christ. And he was like, well, I'm an apostle. And I'm like, okay. And so we met for dinner. And he started telling me, all the things that men tell you that they think will impress you. Well, you'd make a nice first lady. Oh, and you're really this and you're really that. And I'm listening to this man talking. It's like, number one, I have never wanted that job. First lady of a church? No. Uh-oh. Sorry, ladies. I'm talking and I got to remember to look at the screen because I'm missing you. All right. Well, let's see. I was going to tell you about a date. And I went out on a date with a gentleman who was from the same faith I was, okay? He was an apostle, and he and I talked for about maybe a month or so, and he says, I want to take you out to dinner. So we're sitting at dinner together, and it's just, when I talked to him on the phone, we talked a lot about faith. We talked about God and expectations, but when I sat before him, it was like, there's something just not quite right with him. It wasn't so much what he said, because he was a well-spoken man. He was religious, we were the same faith, but there was just something off. And I don't know what it was. And so he kept bringing up things like he's looking to get married and he's looking for a first lady for his church. And, I've never wanted that job. Ooh, first lady of a church? No. That's not a job I would ever apply for. Not that it's a bad job, but that's not a job that I want, okay? But he kept saying, oh, you're well-spoken. And he was saying all the right things, but I felt like, number one, I was being manipulated. And number two, it was like a pressure. Yeah, I don't think, and I told him, I don't see myself as first lady of a church. That's not something I've ever wanted. It's not something that I've ever really thought about. And then, well, you should be happy about that. Oh, it's not every day. Oh, the change up came. The change up came because what he was saying was not impressing me. And the change up came. And I was like, okay, that's what I was feeling weird about, because it was like something is off here. He wanted to impress me that I could be a first lady of a church. And of course, everybody wants that, right? And when I said that's not really what I want, yeah, he became not so nice. By the end, I was pretty much silent and I let him talk because he was like, no. So when you're in that place of peace and healing and stillness, and oh my gosh, you pick up on things that you don't even know what they are, that don't really have, I don't know, I couldn't give you a reason why. I just knew something was off. So this well-spoken, nice, religious man started saying some things that just didn't seem right to me. And I'm so glad that I listened to my intuition because, yeah, when I essentially turned him down for that job, he became a different person. So, ladies, that's it. I didn't want to go for too long. I don't even know what time it is because, oh, let's look. Oh, not bad. Okay. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask me? I'm going to pull it in a little bit. Or have any ideas for what I can do at a next live. I don't know if I'm going to do one tomorrow, but I might. Maybe give it a couple days because I got to figure out how to schedule better and how to phone is hot. I don't know if my please feel free to leave any ideas for future lives. And I'll take a look at that and then I'll schedule it and I'll try and do it tonight. I probably won't do one tomorrow. Maybe today is Monday, maybe Wednesday. Yeah, let's try Wednesday. And I don't know if I'm going to do morning or evening. I don't know. The sunlight is a bit of a problem because it's hard for me to read the phone. So unless I do it at my house, but I really wanted to come out of my house. I work from home, for those of you who don't know, and so getting out of the house is a big deal for me. I'm going to stop by and put some gas in my car because I'm almost out, and then I got to go back to work. Oh, thank you all for coming to my first live. I appreciate you all so very much. You just don't know. Thank you so much. And I'll make sure to, I hope they save the notes. I don't know how this works exactly. Oh, that is an excellent point. Absolutely agree with that, Nachama. I appreciate you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.